Before we get started, a couple things. I'm 9% sure TERP 10 books are in. If you haven't got them yet, please go get them.
Anyone need a napkin? I'll just hand out some. Everybody need napkins? Keep talking.
Oh, Bobby, again.
Yeah, so again, we just got back from our trip to Minneapolis and St. Paul. So for everyone who went, thank you very much for being on great behavior, putting our best foot forward, and showing these companies what we as users were made of. That was amazing. And we actually have a video that Steve back there created about the trip and kind of some of the things we were doing there. And hopefully you enjoy it, so next time the trip comes around, we get many people involved that want to be involved.
This is Cargill.
Stop us, ask some questions, and do our best to answer. We have some experts back here who can help us too.
And then we're going to break this up into a two-part series as well. The first part kind of goes over the overview, and then part two we're going to go through the plan and produce cycle.
Okay. So these are some of the modules that interact with the production process. Right. So we have production planning. Now let's sales and operations planning, demand management, master production schedule, material requirements planning or MRP, plan orders, production orders, and purchase requisitions. And then we have materials management, district purchasing, goods receipt, invoice verification, as well as FI and financial accounting.
And there are other modules that do go into the production process, but these are kind of like the main focuses that we're going to try to highlight today. For the organizational levels for production plan, we're going to be looking at the client. With every module, it's the highest hierarchy point in all of the modules. Then we're going to do the company or company code, plant, storage location, purchasing org, and purchasing group.
You guys should be very familiar with these slides because they're on in almost every presentation we've done so far describing these.
And here's stored data that is involved with production planning, the data dictionary, which is all the metadata, and then the data structure for all the tables that you do or use.
So just to add some metadata is data about the data.
Right. That good stuff. Then the user data, which is the master data and transaction data. These are the types of data that you are creating and that you are working with fully hands-on. Manufacturing master data that we're going to talk about is the material master. This is data for all the items bought, sold, billed, you name it, all of the goods that you receive, make, sell, all that good stuff. The bill of materials, which is kind of just like the materials that are used during the production process to make one material. We're going to go over that a little bit more.
I can do it right now, actually.
Well, it's also hard.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I can do it better. You go.
Okay.
So we do have a slide on this later, but I just kind of want to put it in the context for anybody who's not familiar with this concept. Is everybody familiar with bill of materials and what that is? How that works? I'll draw it out.
Sportsman's Club meeting
So
tonight.
a good example would be the pizza that you're eating, right? So pizza is the finished good. So this bill of materials is a hierarchical structure of what actually goes into that product, right? So here we see that already, Marcus. So we have pizza, and that's obviously what we want to get to. So everything we're going to have underneath of that is what's going to go into it, right? So you need dough. Yeah, that's a bad marker. I guess I can just talk about it. So with the bill of materials is going to be something like the pizza dough. Right? It's going to be the cheese, it's going to be the sauce, it's going to be whatever toppings you put on it, depending on what have you. And that actually goes deeper in level because that's a hierarchical structure. So you've got pizza on the top, and then you're going to have the dough and sauce and things like that. And then under each of those, that's going to break down even more. So part of the bill of materials is going to be what does it take to actually make the dough? And what does it take to actually make the sauce? So that whole breakdown from pizza all the way down to the individual components that make it, that's the bill of materials.
And then when you go into like a third layer, like when you're breaking down like, okay, like what goes into the sauce, that's also described as a multi-level bill of material too. All right, and then we have our work centers. That's a physical place or group where activity takes place. Memorize that for TERP 10, just a physical place where work happens, where things happen. The routing is the path taken to the various work centers in the assembly of the component or product. Let's say a routing could be combine ingredients for sauce. Next step, mix the sauce around. It's kind of just like the process that you go through to create that one material. And then the cost center. This is kind of like the integration with managerial accounting. Is a logical area of cost behavior for labor, setup, machine times, etc. that can be assigned to a work center. And we're going to go into material master data. Any item maintained, bought, sold, produced must be in the material master. It contains data such as the description, a unit of measure, weight, cost, type, planning type, etc. The material master has many views that can be updated by the various areas, such as production, purchasing, and accounting. These are different master views that are within the material master too. Let's say you're in the system and you're creating a material. When you have those little tabs at the front, these are all basically the little tabs that that you can select that has their own set of data. Like we said, for like purchasing, that's all financial data. Sales, which would be sales and distribution data. Every single little tab has maybe like its own little area that integrates with each module as well.
So we're probably not going to go through these one by one, but again, we're going to be sending slides out for everybody.
Material master data, purchasing data for ordering. You need to be able to have different conditions, where you're getting it from. That's different purchasing data that's within your material master. Inventory management, for managing inventory where it's stored, when you're posting the goods movement. Accounting data for how much you value the material at. MRP data for material requirements planning, how you are planning to produce the data, planning to when you want to produce it, if it's like to order, to stock, or different things like that. And then this data is used by many areas of the business, as you can probably tell. Material master order levels. There's data that's valued for the entire company code data, material number, the description, how many units. For the plant, where you purchase it from, where you're storing it, MRP, forecasting, work scheduling. And then for storage location, configuration for the storage bin and what types of storage bin that you have within your storage location.
So some of the different types of materials in the SAP. So raw materials, operating supplies, semi-finished goods, finished goods. And if you've taken the configuration class, right, you're probably familiar with packaging goods and some of the other material types available. So these are designators, obviously, for material, right? So the raw materials would be the things that I was talking about that actually go into making dough, right? A semi-finished good would be the dough for the pizza because it's kind of part way between raw material and finished good. And then obviously finished good is that pizza at the end, right?
Yeah, unless your company is like super vertically integrated, most of the raw materials that you buy for creating your goods are going to be through purchasing it from someone else. Like I said, unless you're super vertically integrated.
And there's another type as well that's on the slide called trading goods. Trading goods are basically finished goods that we buy from other companies just so we can sell them. So we buy, again, if we've taken the SAP classes, the pen company, right? If we buy those pens from that pen company and then resell them, that's a trading good. So the material type controls, this is what the material type actually controls. So material type controls whether the material is intended for a specific purpose. So if it's configurable material or process material. Material type controls whether the material number can be assigned internally or externally. The number range from which the material number is taken. Which screen appear and in what sequence. Which departmental data you may enter. Which procurement type the material has, whether that's manufactured or produced externally, or whether or not we're doing both of those things. Because you can do that. You can procure these materials from a company and also make them. So if you're making something and you have a big order and you don't have the production capacity to actually fill that order just for production, you can produce as much as you can, and then you can go and buy them from the company to distribute. So it also controls which accounts are posted to stock, when stock release or is entered in inventory.
Like if you're posting stock to leave inventory is basically or making materials for orders. Like you don't even put them or store them, you just send them directly to an order. Here's the planning and production environments. As I was kind of mentioning briefly, like let's say this is make to stock. You have all your materials, and then once you kind of get low on stock, like where that arrow's pointing, it's like, okay, now I got to refill or run MRP again to get materials. Assemble to order is kind of just like a healthy balance between them. Like you don't always like get really narrowly dangerous on stock, but like as you're doing your processes or fulfilling multiple orders or a lot of orders, you always want to try to maintain like a healthy balance of stock, just so you don't like kind of just shut down your whole production system. Because then that would really kind of screw you out a lot of dollars if you did that. And then there's the make to order. Let's say that you generally don't have a lot of inventory on hand, but whenever you get orders, you always just make materials for that order. Just I guess you don't maybe have like an excess of stock that you don't need, or if you don't fill orders out that quickly, possibly. Professor Whitelock, you look very intrigued. Is there something you want to add to that?
No, you're doing well. Thank you very much.
Because I know you taught me this stuff, so I want to make sure I'm saying it right.
So this is going back to what I was talking about earlier, where you have the structured components in the hierarchical form. And this is the single level bill of materials, or BOM, right? And BOM in SAP can be multiple levels, like I explained earlier with pizza, or single level BOMs like this, where it's just the finished goods and then the individual pieces that go into it. So, the BOM is used in MRP, right? This explodes the product demand, so that lower levels assemblies and purchase components. So, let me talk a little bit about MRP, because we've said that a little bit today, and I kind of want to go into detail as to what exactly MRP, or Material Resource Planning, is. So, again, going back to the pizza example, if you're going to make it yourself, you need a certain amount of materials, right? So, you go to the kitchen, and you go and you try to find what materials you currently have. So you list out, okay, what do I need for pizza? I need these ingredients, right? So you go into the pantry or refrigerator and you take inventory. You say, okay, I have this, I have this, I have this, but I don't have these things, right? So when you run MRP in SAP, what it's going to do is it's going to find out the difference between what you have and what you need, and then you can, a purchase order can be made from that, or a production order. So you can actually have a production order recreated from running MRP. So if you're trying to sell something that you make, you don't have enough of that finished good, you run MRP, it tells you need this many, you can create it, or you can purchase it. So does anybody have any questions on that concept? Because that's a pretty important concept to know.
Yeah, I think during TERP 10, it's got to be like just like maybe 10 to 15 pages on just MRP. Not to scare any of you, but I speak the truth and nothing.
So the BOM is used in work scheduling as well. Now this is the explorer demand is used to determine production schedules. So again, I was talking about actually scheduling production. Procurement. So explorer demand can drive purchase requisitions and line items for blanket purchase orders. And that's what I was just talking about. MRP is going to run and the purchase order can be created from that. And product costing. Explorer relationships can be used to roll costs to lower level assemblies and components.
These are kind of examples of what like a bill of material would have. Like if you're making like a wagon, these are kind of like your materials that you would need to put together the wagon. So let's say that you typically order wheels, then you would buy buy those type of goods. But like let's say axles, there's many different parts that go into an axle, and your plant actually manufactures these axles. So then you would buy, screws, steel, whatever you need to be able to build these axles before you build your wagon, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and to add, if we go back to what routing was, routing is the process that those materials take to become that axle. Right, so it's something you have to set up when you're actually setting up production. Here's, yeah, this is perfect. I couldn't draw on the board because my marker was bad, but this again gives a better picture of what I was talking about. This is actually an exploded bill of materials because it's multiple levels, right? It's a multi-level column here.
This is actually what it looks like on SAP.
Okay, and this is the definition version what I was just talking about. It's good to take notes on to get the wording, so we're going to send out the slides, so definitely kind of get the wording down for the TERP 10. But the main concept is basically what I was talking about with what do you have, what do you need, what's the difference. That's what MRP does.
And then we put in bold too, just so you guys remember, like planned orders for in-house produced materials, purchase requisitions for raw materials, so things that you're buying from other people. The output of MRP is a planned order. That's something that's still burned in my mind. These need to be converted into production orders for further execution. Planned orders is pretty much what you were about to create, but like within the planned order, it kind of gives you shortages of how much you need, or if you're ready to go completely. The production order is the document which specifies what material needs to be produced and what quantity. It also contains the BOM components and routing operations to be performed at the work center. The production order is then released for execution, and material availability checks can be carried out to see if there are any shortages.
Does anyone have any questions on this part of plan to produce? Yeah.
All right, cool. Question number 1.
So these questions are going to be a bit harder to kind of represent TERP 10 a little bit more. These past few presentations we've given, you guys have been nailing these questions, so it made them a little bit harder. So what are the manufacturing organizational levels? And there's 6 of these that are correct.
All except E and H.
Which ones?
All except E and H.
Yep. No. Live.
Sorry, E and G.
Okay. I had those messed up too over here.
Okay.
Yep. Vendor is not an actual organizational level, and sales organization has nothing to do with production. Once you are done with the production process and you have your finished goods, then you can move into the sales cycle, which the sales organization would be part of the organizational levels that you need.
It's kind of an umbrella, it's not an actual level by itself, is it?
Sales org? Maybe you're thinking about the sales area.
Yeah, sorry.
You're good.
Been a long day.
Which other types of manufacturing master data are part of the production process? Or is?
Oh yeah?
It's
Okay.
A, C, D, E, F, G, G.
Yeah, I do that's believe. Yep. A, C, D, E, G. I put sales organization there for some reason again, so no idea why. But the customer master is not part of the manufacturing master data, just because, like I said before, we don't deal with customers until the sales process. And then there's one more. This one's true or false, sorry. MRP creates planned requisitions for in-house produced materials and planned orders for raw materials.
Raw.
False.
Can we tell me why?
It's opposite.
Yeah.
Oh. What if it's opposite day though? Nah, I'm just kidding, it's false.
Okay. Yeah, it is. They are flip-flops. They're opposite of each other.
Yes. They're just flip-flops, that's all. Oh, before everyone already leaves, which people have, we are having our e-board elections next week. So every single position will be open to run. If you guys are going to be sticking around for next semester, if you're not graduating, it would be a perfect time to run for, see, yeah, he's not here, like, you gotta run. But it looks good on your resume. Next semester is all about companies visiting, so you'll be able to have, you know, good one-on-one interaction with companies. I know that's pretty much how Wade got hired with Walmart is, you know, he was a social media chair and he was able to talk to Walmart after one of these meetings and they offered him a pretty good gig. So if you're looking for something nice to put on your resume, some good networking opportunities with a little bit of work that comes with it, but it's definitely something that you guys should look into. And if you know of anyone that would want to, that's not at this meeting, make sure to let them know that we are having elections next week.
We'll be sending out an email with all the information as well as details about what the positions are actually responsible for. So next week, recommend everybody show up, and yeah, that is it for tonight. Thank you very much, everyone. Appreciate it.
Have a good night.